Hi everyone, my name is Harrison Ark and welcome to my ability bucket presentation. Today I'm going to be presenting on my number one ability bucket choice. For me personally, that was strategies for responding non-defensively. For that one, out of all of them, that one has gone above and beyond to help me in a lot of situations in my life, and I have some pretty good examples for that we're going to go through as well. But first, let's start with what it's actually, or what it is. What's the definition of it? The definition of this ability bucket option, the strategies for responding non-defensively, is essentially when people come at you and attack your character, attack something about you, we have two primary options that most people will go for. Either we will run away and withdraw, or we will often counterattack and go at that person personally and attack them because we're upset that they've brought up something about us that we personally don't like. Now, for me personally, that's really important because I do have a tendency to do both of those things. When people come at me and bring up anything about me that I tend to disagree with or something like that, I will often withdraw or counterattack, one of those two. And using this ability bucket example, it's allowed me to grow as a person and in my life stop counterattacking and withdrawing as often as I was before. So the actual examples of how you would use this option is you could potentially, instead of just counterattacking, you could seek more information from this person on why they think the way they think. You could agree with them just having a different opinion than yourself, or you could agree that they are factually correct, but at the same time, the way they're approaching it might be a little harsh. So for the first option, you can seek more info. That's essentially just, if they have an opinion that's different from yours, you can just ask them why they think the way they think. Just ask them, hey, if you think that way, why do you think that way? What makes you think the way you think, what is your reasoning behind that? And then maybe from that conversation you could have with them, it would allow you to learn why they think that and maybe come away with some more information, allow you to understand better what's going on with them. The second option would be to just simply agree with the fact that they have a different opinion or a different factual stance than you do. If you just acknowledge that their opinion is different than yours, you can just move past and just basically, you don't even have to agree with them personally. You could just say, hey, you have a different opinion than me, that's fine, and move on. Or you could agree, hey, maybe what they're saying is factually correct, but at the same time you don't agree with it personally. Like they could say you're late for work, but in a different way, like you're late for work and you're a jerk because of that. But in reality, you just are late. So those are some, decent examples of how that actually makes sense. And now I'm going to go through examples of how I've used this in my life. The first example I could think of is one time I really wanted to go to hang out with one of my buddies. And my buddy said, hey, we should go to a haunted house. And I didn't really want to go to a haunted house. I was kind of nervous about it, wasn't very excited. And he said, hey man, you're a big baby. You're really scared. You're probably just a chicken because you don't want to go. And I got really upset. I got really mad at him. I started just yelling at him. I was like, hey man, honestly, I'm not a chicken. I'm not upset. I'm just busy and I have to go to work. And I was getting really heated, getting really angry at him. But in reality, had I just agreed with him that maybe factually I was actually afraid of going to that haunted house, then instead of that, I could have had a conversation about it. I could have just told him that. And then instead of giving him the power of being able to make me feel upset, I could have just acknowledged it and moved past, and would have made me feel better in the end probably as well. My second example I could think of for this was I used to work at a bookstore for a while, and one time I had to deal with a very angry customer, and that customer came in and was asking for a refund for some of their items, and normally what we would do is refund that money to their digital account. And this customer was really upset because apparently they didn't know how to get onto that digital account, and they kept yelling at me as if I had personally done something to hurt them, as if I had a vendetta against them or something like that, when in reality, I was just doing my job. And in that moment, I was so angry, I had to go get my boss, Benny, to take care of it, to talk to her. Benny took care of it. But instead of just withdrawing and walking away like that because I was so angry, I could have just said, hey, I just want to let you know that this is our protocol as employees, and that's what I'm supposed to do. So even though it's a little confusing for you, let me find another solution. Let me get my boss and help you out. And that would have helped me to feel better, would have helped her to feel better, and in the end would have solved that situation using this ability bucket piece of advice. The last one I could think of as a decent example was one time I went to a concert and I got there really early. I was very excited. It was one of my favorite bands. I got there a couple hours early and I was at the very front of the line with some of my friends, my cousin, my uncle. And when we got there, we got to the very front and we were at the railing. I'm personally kind of a tall person, so when I got there was a person behind me who was a little upset. They were complaining, hey, I can't see over this guy. What the heck? This guy's such a dick for being in the way and I can't even see. It was a very upsetting moment for me because I just was, why is this guy being mean to me? It didn't make any sense. And had I, in that moment, thought about this ability bucket option, I was so upset I didn't even want to talk to him. I was just walking away. I could have, instead of withdrawing and walking away like that and being upset about it, I could have said, hey, I just want to let you know I got here really early. I'm really sorry you weren't able to see, but if you had been here earlier, you might have been able to be in the front and you would have been able to see past me. But using these examples and using this ability bucket option has allowed me in my life to, if you look at these examples, instead of withdrawing or counterattacking, doing all these different things, it's allowed me to use this option to not have these issues become as much of a problem anymore, and I can use this to, in the future, not have to deal with these same issues again. So overall, that's why for me personally, the using strategies for responding non-defensively was my primary choice for the ability bucket presentation, and overall, that's why it's been very important to me. So thank you for watching, and that's my presentation.